Everyone, please, Radhe Radhe. Everyone, if you could please check your cell phone to make sure it's turned off. Thank you. I need more volume, please. Radhe Radhe. Radhe Radhe. बोलिए श्रीमद् सद्गुरु सरकार की जय। राधा रानी महारानी की जय। कहती कुंवरी तुतराय मायते, कहती कुंवरी तुतराय मायते, 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 कहती कुंवरी तुतराय मायते, कहती कुंवरी तुतराय मायते, कहती कुंवरी तुतराय मायते, कहती कुंवरी कहती कुंवरी तुतराय मायते. Shri Maharaj Ji is depicting a Leela that Radharani has performed along with her Sakhis in her childhood. Radharani says in a lisping voice, "Tuturate hui bolti hai." She does not know how to speak properly yet. She's so small. And she's saying to her mother, she's saying something to her mother. When children speak to adults, they wish to be speaking as adults do. And to them, everything that they say is very important, although many times whatever they're saying does not make sense. But in the child's mind, everything the child is saying is very, very important. And here's Radharani, who is performing her childhood pastimes, Bal Leela. So just as every child does, she is speaking to her mother in a lisping voice. And she says, "Maiya, I was playing with my Sakhis, Lalita and others. The 8 Mahasakhis of Radharani, they are like reflections of Radharani. It is as if they are extensions of Radharani. Lalita, Adik, Lalita, Vishakha, Chitra, Rang Devi, Sudevi, Champaklata, Indulekha and Tungavidya. So I was playing with my Sakhis in the porch, not far away from home. They're just very small, and so sometimes they go to Gahvar Van, which is adjacent to Vrishabhanu's palace, and today they were playing in the porch. Abahi Pauri Amai. So we were playing in the porch. And Maya is thinking, well, you do that every day. So she's thinking, what is Lali going to say today? What special thing happened today? Because Lali is very excited. And she's saying, Maya, we were all playing in the porch today and something happened. It's very sweet, the way she talks is very, very sweet. Shri Maharaj has said in a Kirtan as well, when Thakurji is very small, he is talking to Radharani, and instead of saying, "Chalo Radhe khele," he said, "Talo lade tele." So it's so sweet when we hear this, when we sing it. It delights our hearts, doesn't it? So Radharani, we can just imagine how she's saying whatever she's saying to her mother in a lisping voice as a child. So Maya, we were all playing in the porch, and Radharani's eyes, we can just imagine, they're so big because something has happened and it's very significant in her eyes, and she is feeling very important. I'm going to tell something important to my Maya. All the mothers and fathers are very familiar with this, I'm sure. The children do that. Radharani is doing the performing pastimes. She's doing her leelas. One day, I was in someone's house and I heard the most wonderful definition of leela by a little child. I used something that was wrong. I used the wrong sponge to wash my dish, and this little girl said, "No, that's the wrong sponge." I said, "I'm sorry." She said, "That's okay. Even God makes mistakes." But when God makes mistakes, it's called Leela. I was stunned. Oh my goodness. So bright, so put so wonderfully, just in a way that only a child can explain it, in such a simple way. When God comes to earth and he seems to be making mistakes, because why would Radharani speak in a lisping voice? She has, with her grace, there are personalities such as Saraswati, and they speak so well, but she is speaking in a lisping voice because this is a Leela. So Kishori, tell me what happened today. Why are you so excited to tell me? Because you're always playing with your Sakhis. Maya, something very different happened today as we were playing. इतने ही माही माया एक बाबा, इतने ही Maya, we were playing and suddenly a Babaji came there. Now, to a child, even if it's someone who is, she's so small, even someone who is in his 20s will seem like an old man. You know how it is from your own childhood? When you were small, when we were small, then we think, 25? You're 25, you're so old. Then when we are in our 20s and we think, oh, 40 is very old. Then we are in our 40s, we think, oh, 60, and that's old. And so it goes on and on. Our definition of old, what is old, it changes. Now we say, I'm only in my 80s, because now that's the new old. There's a new definition of old, depending on what stage of life we're at. So to Radharani, little Radharani, this Babaji has come, he's this old guy, and he has a veena in his hand. He has this musical instrument, the stringed instrument, veena in his hands. So now right away, Maya is thinking, maybe it is, but I don't know. Could it be? She's thinking, but she's not really saying anything, and she's letting Kishori do all the talking. Maya, this Babaji came, and he had a veena in his hand. So important. Everything is very, very exciting. When a child is at the airport, and then have you seen the excitement? Oh, big plane, and the child is screaming, and mother is saying, shh, be quiet, sit down. But there's so much excitement because everything is so new. Everything is so new. So it has never happened that someone just came along when Radharani is playing with her friends. So this new thing has happened. This Babaji has come, and that too with a veena in his hands, and that's something very exciting. And Radharani and the Sakhis are going to be talking about that for quite a while. Who is this Babaji? Well, we'll find out. They did talk about it. But it's all very exciting. It's happened for the first time, and everything is so new. So she's saying, Maya, this Babaji came with a veena in his hand. Maya, who was that? We were wondering. We've never seen him. He's none of Baba's friends. He's not a friend of my Baba, my father. So this was not someone familiar to Radharani. So this is a stranger, so that's exciting and a little frightening as well. And she is going to say that he appeared out of nowhere. One moment he wasn't there, next moment there he is. He just appeared. So Maya is going to have her doubts because someone with a veena in his hands, and he didn't come from anywhere. Lali did not see him coming from somewhere. He just appeared. Maya is getting more suspicious, but she is not saying anything right now. Kishori Ji is saying, Iktak lakhan lagyo puni moka. Iktak lakhan lagyo Maya, this strange Babaji with Veena in his hand, he just started looking at me. He didn't look at anyone else. He didn't look at Lalita, he didn't look at Chitra or any of my Sakhis. His gaze was fixed on me. He just looked at me and he looked without blinking. Maya, that's very strange, isn't it? It's very strange that somebody should just keep on looking and they don't even blink. So Maya, I don't know who he is and how did he know me and why was he looking at me like that? Why was he staring at me? So Maya, I got very scared. As you can imagine, we teach our children, of stranger danger. If a stranger comes to you, don't speak to him. So there is a real fear in a child's heart. So Maya, I got really scared because he started to look at me without blinking, and for some reason he started to cry. Nana Neer Bahai. Maya, why did he start to cry? I didn't say anything to him. Why did he start crying? So then Kishori Ji, she became frightened and she stepped back a little bit because when you're afraid, you want to be distancing yourself. So she wanted to distance herself from him. She went back a little bit. And Maya, he went around me 7 times. He did circumambulation. He did pradakshina. That is what we do. As Hindus, we know that very well, that when we go to a mandir, we do pradakshina for Guru Dev. So that is a very auspicious thing to do. Maya, he went around me 7 times. We all counted. We were all counting. He went 7 times around me. And Maya, then he took balaya. He went like this, like this. Maya, why did he do that? You do that to me. Maya, you often do that to me, but why did he do that to me? He's not my Maya, he's not my Baba. Why did he do that? And Maya, when I stepped back a little bit, he bent down, he took the dirt from where I was standing, and he put it in his mouth. Yuck. Little children, as they will say. So Kishori Ji is disgusted with that. Why would he eat the dirt that was under my feet? Now Maya is understanding that was Narad Muni. She was suspecting it, but now she knows that this was Narad Muni. He has come to take darshan of Radharani. Now who is Narad? Unfortunately, many people have a negative connotation of Narad Ji. When we use the words Naradiya Vidya, that the talent of gossiping, carrying stories from here to there, there to there. So when someone gossips like that and they tell stories and we say, oh, there comes Narad Ji. But Narad Ji is God himself. Narasyedam naram naram dyati iti naradaha. Narad means one who destroys the ignorance of humankind. He is Narad. He is a partial manifestation of God. He's not just a saint. He is God himself. But he is oftentimes playing the part of a saint. He's playing the part of Vishnu's devotee, Bhagwan Mahavishnu's devotee. So he is God himself and he has come to take Radharani's darshan, and that tells us how important Radharani is. That even Narad Ji, the Supreme, he is the manifestation of the Supreme. He has come to take Radharani's darshan. Well, we have no doubt as to who Radharani is. Utsarjane cha rashabdo dharane poshane cha dha. That Radha means one who creates, protects, and annihilates countless universes. So she is Brahman. But now enacting the part of a little girl who is being very afraid of the stranger, she said, Maya, and her eyes are getting wider and wider. Maya, why did he start crying? I didn't say anything to him. I promise I didn't say anything to him. But he started crying and he went around me 7 times. And Maya, how did he know my name? He started saying, Radhe, Radhe, Radhe. Narad Ji was not staring at Radharani. He went into Samadhi. So in a state of Samadhi, Prem Samadhi, or in any Samadhi, even the Jnani Samadhi, you can't blink your eyes. You're in a state of samadhi, but the other person will think, oh, he's staring. Like King Janak, when he saw Ram and Lakshman, his gaze was fixed on both of them. And he stopped blinking because he went into samadhi. And he started to think that my Brahman, the one who does not have a form, who doesn't have a name, I think my Brahma has come in the form of these two boys. And he asked, Kahahu Nath, Sundar do balak, Nripakul tilak ki mani kul palak. Who are these two boys? Do they belong to a royal family, or are they from a family of ascetics? Inahi bilokat ati anuraga, barabas brahm sukhahi man tyaga. Looking at them, my mind has renounced Brahmanand. My mind does not want the bliss of Brahma any longer. Just by looking at them, my mind has given up Brahmanand. So my full faith is that these two boys are none other than my Brahma who has come in these two forms as Ram and Lakshman. So Janakji Maharaj, when he saw Ram and Lakshman, he saw them, he looked at them, and his eyes stopped blinking. He went into samadhi. From Brahmanand, he went right to Premanand. So here Naradji is in Prem Samadhi. He has stopped blinking. And he is taking the foot dust of Radharani as the Mahaprasad. Mahaprasad, the foot dust of Radharani. Even Shri Krishna desires the foot dust of Kishori Ji. He places it reverently on his forehead. He considers himself most fortunate, most blessed to get the foot dust. So why would Naradji not desire it? So Naradji immediately picks up the foot dust and places it in his mouth. This is Mahaprasad, the greatest prasad. And even Gauranga Mahaprabhu Ji has said, Bhakta Pada Dhuli or Bhakta Pada Jal, Bhakta Bhukta Avashishta, Tin Mahabal, Ei Tin Seva Hoite Krishna Prema Hoy. Mahaprabhu Ji has said that if you accept the foot dust of a true devotee, a saint, and if you wash the saint's lotus feet and then you drink that charan dhovan, that charanamrit, and then if you take the food, the remnants of the food that he has eaten, these are the three greatest strengths of a devotee. Three greatest strengths of a sadhak are Bhakta Padajal, Padadhuli, and Bhakta Bhukta Avashishta. Jutan. Mind you, if we accept these three as a formality or because we are copying others, oh look, he's running towards that to get the foot dust, I'll also go. In the world, we do that, don't we? In many ways, in many aspects, we follow what others are doing. There's a crowd over there. Where are they going? I don't know, but let me go along. Hindi mein bolte hain bhed chal. In English, we call it the herd mentality. So everybody's going there and they're taking this foot dust, so let me also go. People are fighting for that jutan of the saint, so let me also go. There's a little competition also. Let me also go. Let me get more. You got this much, I got this much. There's a competition. Once Maharaj said people started taking his clothes from him without Maharaj knowing as prasad, prasadi. And Maharaj said my whole wardrobe was taken away and I didn't have anything to wear. And Maharaj said, Dhanya hai logon ki shraddha. Mere paas kapde hi nahi bache. So, you know, a lot of times, of course, it may be very genuine, but a lot of times we do these things because others are doing it. A devotee of Maharaj's, one of the devotees of Maharaj said to me when he went to India for the first time, he was trying to copy someone else. And one day he just came to me, started crying. He said, I can't do that. And I said, who told you to do it? Because he does it. So I said, it's not in your nature to run around after Maharaji and to be loud. And you're quiet, so stay quiet. It's okay. But you don't have to do what he's doing. Oh, well, I just felt compelled to do it. I felt that pressurized to do it. No, you're putting the pressure on yourself. Don't do it. You just do what you have to do. You are your own person. So, Narad Muni has taken the foot dust of Radharani as the greatest prasad, and Radharani is saying, according to her Bal Leela, I don't understand why he did that. That's so disgusting, Maya. And then we wanted to know who he was. Lalita said to me, find out, Kishori, go find out who he is. And I said, I'm not going to talk to him, you go. Nobody was willing to go, but then Lalita, she's bold, so she said, I'll go, I'll ask him. So let's find out what happens. Jab Lalita ne puchi Baba, jab Lalita ne puchi So Maya, I didn't want to go up to him and ask him, what's your name? Where did you come from? Lalita said, I'll go, I'll ask him. So Lalita went up to him and said, Babaji, what is your name? What is your name? And Maya, he didn't give an answer. When he heard Lalita speaking, she asked him a question, he started laughing. Maya, it's not funny. If somebody says, what's your name? Who does that? Maya? Madman. She just asked him, what's your name? And he started laughing, like loud laughter, attahas. Attahas, very loud laughter. When your whole body starts shaking. He just started laughing like that. And Maya, then he just ran away from there. Just ran away. So nothing makes sense, Maya. Nothing makes sense. But it's making sense to Maya. Perfect sense. Narad Ji has such high regards for Radharani. He is a devotee of Radharani. He has said in his scriptures, Narad Pancharatram, Vrishabhanu Suta Devi Mula Prakriti Ishwari Radha Vamanga Sambhuta Mahalakshmi Prakirtita Tatkala Koti Kotyansha Durga Dyasri Gunatmika. In Narad Pancharatram, Narad Ji has praised Radharani, he has glorified Radharani, that she is primordial nature. Mula Prakriti, the darling daughter of King Bhanu, is Mula Prakriti. She is primordial nature. She is Prakriti, Mula Prakriti. And she is the origin, she is the source of all the Divine Mothers. Radharani is the source, and all the forms of the Divine Mother have hailed from her. They have manifested from her. So Narad Ji loves Radharani. He is a great devotee of Radharani, and he has come for darshan, and he is so affected. He has such devotion within that devotion has come spilling out of him. When there's a true devotee, he tries to hide his love for God within his heart. It is not in his nature to make a public display of his love. He keeps it very hidden because it is a rule, it's an unspoken law of love that love should be kept a secret. It should be hidden, it should not be proclaimed. When it is proclaimed, then it loses its intensity. So gopaniyam prayatnatah. Pyar ko chupao, hide your love. But there comes a time, there are times when that great devotee cannot hide his love. And Narad Ji is at that point where he cannot hide the love that he has for Radharani. So it has come gushing out of him. He is laughing, he is chanting Radhe, Radhe, tears are flowing from his eyes. He is in a state of divine ecstasy, Divya Bhav. He cannot control this love. Shri Maharaj has explained it like this, that when you are cooking something in a pressure cooker, the gas keeps on building up in the pressure cooker. It keeps on building. And then that pressure, that force that comes swishing out, when we hear the loud swishing sound, we get frightened that it's such a loud sound. That gas has come out, and it is now coming out with a great force. And that is what is happening with Narad Muni. That love that he's hiding within, it has come out. He could not hide it any longer. So now he is laughing, he is crying, he is taking balaya of Radharani, he is now acting like it looks like he's a madman. Because every true devotee of God seems like a madman. Sometimes he would be completely normal in the eyes of the world, what we consider to be normal behavior, observing the etiquette. And other times, he cannot observe any etiquette because he is so overwhelmed with love, and that love is so powerful that he cannot remain what we call normal. Evamrata swaprat priyanam kirtya jata anurago druta chitta uchaihi hasatyatho Roditi rauti gayatyunmadhavan nityati lokabahya. Bhagavad Puran. Sometimes that devotee of God, the true lover of God, sometimes he starts to laugh, sometimes he starts to cry, sometimes he sings at the top of his voice. He doesn't know what he's doing. He is oblivious of his own physical body. He is in a state of divine ecstasy. Bhagavan Shri Krishna says, such a devotee sanctifies the entire earth by his mere presence. Just by living in this world, he's sanctifying the entire earth. His presence is so glorious, it is so auspicious, it is so divine. And when such a devotee leaves the earth, then nature responds. There is great movement in nature. There will be storms and rainfall, torrential rainfall, because even nature is disturbed. That what will become of that balance that was created on earth with your presence? So now there's an imbalance because that saint has left. Nature reacts. So Narad Ji is in a state of divine ecstasy. That is not to be confused with an aspiring devotee, a sadhak. Sometimes with the grace of God and his guru, he feels really good and tears of joy, tears of love come out from his eyes, and he feels maybe he's trembling. He has, for a few minutes, few seconds, he feels that ecstasy. It's not divine ecstasy, but it is, you can say, an experience that God and Guru give to him to encourage him to walk on the path, to encourage him to love God more. But this is divine ecstasy. When a true lover of God, when he cannot hide his love, then he's laughing, he's crying, he's singing, he's dancing as if no one is watching him. He throws all precaution to the wind. He does not take any precautions. He is unaware. Look at what the Vanar Sena did. They were not aware of what they were doing. They have so much love for Bhagwan Shri Ram that he is sitting under a tree, he's sitting on the ground, and they're sitting on the branches of the tree, under which their Lord is sitting. And they're not at fault because they're in a state of bhav. They're in a state of ecstasy and they have no idea what they're doing. Shabri is giving the fruits that she has tasted herself, then she gives them to Bhagwan Shri Ram and he is accepting them. And Lakshman, standing right next to Bhagwan Shri Ram, he's horrified. What is this woman doing? She's giving the fruits that she has tasted to my Lord. And Bhagwan Ram is saying, Lakshman, tum bhi khao. Lakshman, you also eat. These are the sweetest fruits. So when we hear these stories, or when Vidurani gives the banana peels and says to Bhagwan Shri Krishna, please eat, please accept these. And he does, because he's accepting the love with which those banana peels are given. And all these devotees are in a state of divine ecstasy, and they don't know, they're not conscious of what they are doing. They're not conscious of it at all. And this is what is happening with Narad Muni. And so when Lalita asks, Babaji, who are you? Then that he comes out of that bhav and he runs away from there. He runs away. And little Radharani, again, her eyes are getting wider and wider, and she's looking for her mother's reaction. And her mother is also thinking, oh my goodness. So Kirti Maiya's eyes are also getting wider and wider, because now she knows that this was Narad Muni who had come to take darshan of her Lali. मैंने कहीं अरी ललिताया, मैंने कहीं अरी ललिताया, I saw him doing all these crazy things, then I turned to Lalita after he had run away suddenly. Then I said, Lalita, what do you think? Lalita said, what do you think? So I said, Lalita, he seems like a pagal to me. He seems like a madman. Lalita agreed. Everybody agreed. All my Sakhis agreed. That's a madman, if there was ever one. And Maya is listening to this, and she doesn't want to hear this. And she's thinking, oh my goodness, Narad Muni and my little daughter, Radha Rani, Radhika, she does not know, she's a child. And I hope God will forgive her for this. She's calling Narad Muni a madman. Oh my goodness. And Maya says, and she says, Radha Rani says, Kishori says, Maya, so don't you agree with that? Haan sahi kahi na? I said the right thing, right? He's a madman, right? You agree, right? And Maya is not saying anything. She's just getting scared and her eyes are like this. Maya, why are you afraid? Why are you looking so scared? Maya is thinking, such a great saint, and God loves his saints so much that he doesn't mind any criticism that comes his way. He does not mind that someone insults him, but he does not tolerate the insult of his pure devotees. Sunu suresh raghunath subhau, nij aparadh risahi na kahu. Jo aparadh bhagat kar karahi, Ram rosh pavak so jarahi. Ramcharitmanas. God does not, he readily forgives those who offend him, but he's not willing to forgive those who offend his pure devotees. So Maya is thinking this, that my Lali, unknowingly, naively, she's very naive, she's just a little child, she is calling Narad Muni, the great Narad Muni, she's calling him a madman. And Narad Ji used to give darshan from time to time to the Brajvasis. And Lali does not know the greatness of Narad Muni, so she's saying this. And when Lali says, Maya, don't you agree? She wants Maya to say, yes, he's a madman, stay away from him. Next time he comes, just run away from there. But Maya is looking so scared, and Lali is saying, why are you looking so scared? And Maya says, Ladali, my darling, that was not a madman, that was Narad Muni. Ari Ladali, Narad Muni so, mo kaha kat na bulai. Why didn't you call me? I wanted to have his darshan too. I would have taken benefit of having his darshan. Lali, why didn't you call me? All this happened, and I was right there inside the house cooking, and you didn't call me? Narad? What does that mean? Little Kishori Ji, she has no idea who Narad is, and that name does not mean anything to her. So here's what she says. Puchati Kumari Kripalu Matu. So when Kishori ji hears her mother, Kirti Maiya, saying, "But my darling, that was Narad Muni. Ladali, that was Narad Muni. Why did you call me?" Then Radharani is very perplexed. She is very confused, and she said, "Maiya, who is this Narad? And he seems, is he possessed by some spirit? And then he goes around doing this, and I don't know why you wanted to see him, but it seems to me that he was a madman. And if you say he's not a madman, then he's been possessed by some evil spirit. That's why he goes around doing these funny things." So that is how this Leela ends, with Kishori ji calling her dear devotee Narad a madman and someone who is possessed by an evil spirit. Well, indeed, Narad ji is possessed by a spirit, but not an evil spirit. He is possessed by the spirit called Nandaput ka Bhoot, and Radharani. These are the spirits that he is possessed by. He's completely possessed. He eats, drinks, sleeps, talks, Radharani and Shyam Sundar. So he's completely possessed. We wish also to be possessed like Narad ji is. Boliye Bhakt Narad ki jai, Radha Rani ki jai, Radha Rani Bal Leela ki jai, Prem Ras Madira ki jai, Srimad Sadguru Sarkar ki jai. Jai Jai Shri Radhe, Jai Jai Shri Radhe, Jai Jai Shri